Hello everyone. So I have got a lot of queries regarding whether the MME paper 24-25 was very tough or not. So starting with the first thing, in this they have changed the pattern a bit. So the paper consisted of 10 questions and you were supposed to attempt 9 and 9 had two parts. Every question had two parts. Suppose A1 and 2 and you were supposed to attempt only 9 out of 10. So the choice was very less. Also, if I'm solving a paper right now and solving in the examination hall, that is altogether a different type of scenario. So in the exam hall, we usually get panicked, and even if we know the answer, we tend to make some mistakes. So that is totally fine. Then the use of scientific calculators was also allowed this time, which was not allowed for the previous 2-3 years, or it was never allowed for, but for this specific time they have included this. So don't worry if you haven't used the scientific calculator. If you have used the normal calculator only, they will consider this thing into consideration, because no one knew beforehand that that scientific calculator would be allowed. Also, now what most of you would be doing is calculating your marks or solving the questions and verifying it. This is a humble request, don't do this. You still have your paper of stats on 14, just focus on this. So I'll just analyze the paper as well. 90 marks, use of scientific calculator is allowed. So this is the first time they are allowed this. Okay, attempt any 9 questions. This one was doable. This one was also doable. So I'm telling you the difficulty level of the paper. Okay, you can consider this as tough. So for the students who have studied GE maths or who know the basic idea of this, so this was also doable. But most of you must have left this. Now looking at third question, first part, I have already solved this type of question in the past years. Okay, this might be considered as tough. So I'll just count the number of questions that were doable for a student who has put the desired efforts. 1, 2. Okay, this is tough. Suppose both of them are tough. 3. 3 parts, 15 marks. Okay, does the extreme value theorem guarantee the existence of maximum and minimum for this function? No, because it is not on a closed and bounded interval. Okay, this was doable. Sorry, this part. First, second, third part, fourth part. In my video itself, the important topics that I have told you that the proofs of the theorem could be asked. Okay, so this was doable. 3, 10, 25. This was doable. These type of question we have already done. This might sound tough, but you can write the first order condition. First order conditions are not difficult. You necessarily solving the maximum problem. Okay, you might get stuck in this, but if you had read it or studied it decently, you would be able to do this as well. Okay, this one was easy. You could have solved this. This one was very basic. This one was easy as well. Okay, you might face some problem in this. Okay, if you have read chapter 8, then doable. Okay, so suppose not so doable. This is doable. You can find g-x and then you will be able to find the solution. This is doable. Local extrema, doable. Strictly increasing, strictly decreasing, first order derivative. Rate of change of, but this is also doable. But the thing is, since I have discussed a lot of questions which are doable, but the exam scenario is totally different. So we tend to make mistakes even in the questions that we know, that we are comfortable with. So in exam scenario, if you know, suppose 13-14 parts, you tend to get correct 10 or 12 only, and there are certain silly mistakes that you tend to make. Okay, but that is totally fine. Now, looking at, so the total paper is of 160 marks, right? And the passing percentage is 40%. So it is 64 out of 160. And before that, the checking would be on relative basis, checking and grading. So if the paper is tough, the professors would solve them. So 2-3 professors would solve this, and if they feel like it was difficult to complete this in 3 hours, or the difficulty level was high, they will give you grace marks for the same as well. So grading is relative, so it depends on your performance as compared to others. It's not like that only 100 students would get past this, or only 100 students would pass this paper. It totally depends on relative scenario. So if you are scoring better than your classmates, or then even if the score is less, you will get higher grading. CGPA would be higher. Okay, so no need to worry about this. They'll make sure. Okay, so this is NEP, under NEP only, and since the past year results have been good under NEP, and since it is a new policy, the government cannot make sure that the students are not able to score good with continuation of this policy. तो basically अगर उनको दिखाना है NEP अच्छा है, तो marks भी अच्छे दिखाने पड़ेंगे. I shouldn't have said this, but this is the truth. So don't worry about the result. Don't check any of your answer right now. This would be time consuming, and in some of the questions you might be very confident that it is correct, और घर जाके जब चेक करोगे तो गलत हो जाएगा, कॉन्फिडेंस डाउन हो जाएगा. सो इंस्टेड focus on what is left for the focus on the next of the papers. ठीक है, अभी जो हो गया we cannot change anything. जो मैथ्स का पेपर हो गया, and trust me, you will get decent marks once you will see the score. देखो, failing या marks बहुत कम आना होता है when you have written absolutely nothing. From a teacher's perspective, the teacher tries to pass the student, but अगर कुछ भी नहीं लिखा, then it becomes very difficult. Okay, so focus on stats paper now. For the same, I'll upload a past year of 2023, and okay, 2023 would be more than enough. I'll upload this because of 2022 it was a different pattern, and I don't think they will follow that pattern again. Okay, so keep focusing on the other papers, because जो maths में हो गया, we cannot change it whether we are scoring very high or very less. Don't feel demotivated. If it was tough, it was tough for everyone. So you were not the only one जिसके लिए tough था ये. Tough for everyone. Okay. तो ऐसा नहीं था कि तुम्हारा से tough आया. Paper was same for everyone and it was tough for everyone. So you need to move. Okay, अब 2 दिन से इतना पढ़ रहे हो, तो you are supposed to rest today or enjoy or go out, chill with your friends, and start from tomorrow and start fresh irrespective of how your past papers have gone. Focus on what you have in hand currently. Okay, all the best.